This is the presentation of the weapon known in Romania as VUM, even though it is not the correct name. We will try to shed some light on the history of this gun and why it looks like this. I won't go into AK-47 history or variants, there are enough videos out there. This rifle looks like an AK-47, but it's not one. Let's first understand what AK-47 means. The acronym comes from Automat Kalashnikov 1947. So we understand that it's an automatic gun designed by Mikhail Kalashnikov in 1947. How Kalashnikov made this design and what were the influences, it's a long story. There's even a movie about it. The bottom line is that the AK-47 is a select fire rifle, both full and semi-auto modes, and it was meant to replace the PPSH-41 submachine gun using the newly introduced cartridge 7.62x39. The first design, named today Type 1, was done with stamped sheet metal, but there were problems in manufacturing this design, so in 1951 a new design was made named Type 2. This was milled from a block of steel, so it was more sturdy but also heavier and more expensive to produce. There was a small improvement design named Type 3, made in 1955, still milled, and only in 1959, with the Type 4 design, the manufacturing process returned to stamped metal. The latest design is known as the AKM, Automat Kalashnikov Modernized, and it is the one that got produced and sold all over the world. Now we have to talk a bit about what system and platform means. A system is a design, the idea of how a thing should work. The AK system is widely used. Besides the AK-47, the AK system is used in the AK-74, AK-102, AK-12, and also by the Finnish Valmet RK-62, the Israeli Galil, and the Serbian Zastava M70. They all used the same functioning principle, but they are not the same. A platform is a well-defined project with all the measurements and tolerances specified, so any gun built on that platform will be compatible with another gun in the same platform built in another place. AKM is a platform, regardless if it was built in the USSR, Romania, Bulgaria, Poland, or East Germany. Most of the components are interchangeable. Also, a third-party supplier can make aftermarket components that will fit all AKM guns, no matter where they were made. So the rifle in this presentation is an AK system made on the AKM platform, but it's not a Type 4 AK. This is because it is a semi-auto only gun. It has some modifications to the internal components to not allow the installation of full auto parts, but everywhere else it is compatible with the AKM parts. The bolt rails were modified so that it does not allow a full auto bolt. Also, the bolt guides were modified. The piston diameter on the bolt carrier was reduced, and the gas block diameter is also smaller, and there is no middle notch for full auto. Now that we saw what this rifle is, let's look at its history. In Romania, this rifle is known as VUM, but on the gun there is no such name. On the right side of the receiver, we can see written Intrac MK1 and the caliber 7.62x39. On the left side, the first line reads Intrac Arms Knox Tien. This is, or rather was, the name of a company, Intrac Arms from Knoxville, Tennessee. On the second line, we can see Ratmil/Sadu. Ratmil is Regia Autonomă pentru Producția de Tehnică Militară, meaning Autonomous Directorate for the Production of Military Equipment. Sadu is Sadu or Uzina Mecanică Sadu, meaning Mechanical Plant Sadu, from Bumbești City, Gorj County. Third line made in Romania, it's self-explanatory. Also on the left, we can see two numbers, 1997 and 9783. 1997 is the production year and this other one is the serial number. Also here, not with white paint, but just stamped, is RNP. RNP means Regia Națională a Pădurilor, or in English, National Directory of Forests, also known as Romsilva. So this gun was produced by Sadu between 1993 and 1997, when it was part of Ratmil. In 1998, the government reorganized Ratmil under a new name, Romarm, the state-owned company still in existence that represents the Romanian defense industry. All the guns made at Sadu were newly fabricated, not modifications or transformations of existing military rifles. The rifle was intended for export under the contract between Ratmil and Intrac Arms, one of the first export contracts for Romanian guns to the US. It was produced specifically for the requirements of the contract to be able to be imported into the US and inscribed with the appropriate importer name as the US law requires. For some reason, a very big lot of guns, more than 1,000, were unable to be exported. Most likely a US legislation change, like the 1998 Clinton executive order. So, not to make this into a total financial loss that could drive Sadu into bankruptcy, the rifles were sold to Romsilva by political decree and distributed to all the forestry departments in the country. They were destined to be used by the forestry guards, but were used only seldomly. In 2002, the Ministry of Agriculture issued an order that all AKMs and SKS guns made by Sadu and Kujir were forbidden to be used for hunting. That order is still in force today. So these guns, meant for the US market, then for the forestry guards, had to be surplused once again. The forestry departments began to sell them to local gun shops for pennies, $50 to $100 a piece, and so they became available to the Romanian gun owners. This is why this gun is very common on the Romanian gun market. In Romania, the main arsenal is Kujir. The old communist factory is today split in two: Kujir, mechanical plant Kujir, meant to produce military weapons, and Fabrica de Arme Kujir, Kujir Weapons Factory, meant to produce civilian weapons. Both are state-owned through Romarm. But the Kujir-made guns were never sold directly to the Romanian private owners, so it is very rare on the Romanian market. Sadu made AK-type rifles for other export contracts, not only for Intrac. There are guns marked CUR, also made by Sadu. Today, Sadu no longer produces weapons, only munitions. Some time ago, another company started to produce AK-type civilian guns in Romania, Nova Modul. This is a private company, also based in Kujir city. Almost all of its production goes to the US as well, but quite recently it started to sell directly to the private Romanian gun owners. So, where does the VUM name come from? All the information on this topic is assembled from internet searches and is speculation on my part. No official information is available. Most likely, VUM comes from a company in Erfurt, Germany that is called Waffen und Munition, that in 1992 opened the road for gun exports from Romania to the West, in the first years after the Romanian anti-communist revolution when Ceausescu was deposed. From then on, Kujir and Sadu made guns especially for the export market under the requirements of the Western importing companies. They were all semi-auto only and all configured so that they were in accordance with the import laws in the destination country. In the VUM case, there were two variants, VUM 1 in 762 and VUM 2 in 545, made by Kujir. Both had to comply with the German law that imposed a sporting stock, meaning no pistol grip. So the VUM guns had the back of the receiver cut in a semicircular shape, moon cut, so no pistol grip could be mounted and were fitted with the PSL stock. This configuration was requested on the US market as well, where the import laws were similar at the time. A pistol grip was making a gun as an assault rifle. Although the guns were named Wasser, Romac, Sar, Kur and others, the export configuration remained the same, mainly the thumbhole stock, so the Romanian gun community retained the original name, VUM. In the meantime, the US import laws changed, and now the guns have to be exported with thumbhole stocks, single-stack magazines and others, the 922R law. Also, the guns are modified by the importer to add US-made parts before they are sold on the US market, so the export configuration doesn't matter that much anymore. This rifle was made by Sadu, and it does not have the moon cut in the receiver, but it has the PSL style thumbhole stock. So it's compatible with the AKM furniture and can be fitted with a pistol grip. The stock looks like the PSL, but it's not the same. The grip is a little smaller here than the PSL, and the swing swivel is on the bottom, not in the rear. Two configurations were made to comply with the US law. First, the threaded muzzle had a nut welded or spot welded, so it cannot be removed, and the bayonet lug was not cut, so you cannot put a bayonet here. The rest of the gun is Sadu AK. It has a adjustable front sight in windage and elevation. It has a cleaning rod under the barrel, chrome lined barrel, rear sight with the P where the battle sight or battle position is, 5-round magazine, safety with only one position, and a rail for the PSL type scope. As you can see, the gun weighs 3 kilos and 563 grams, and the total length is 86 centimeters. It is quite smaller than the previous Romanian service rifle, the VZ24. The thumbhole stock is quite uncomfortable. The distance from the grip to the trigger is too long for normal hands. Using the thumb to grip the gun does not allow the index finger to reach the trigger blade, and I don't have small hands. Field stripping is the same as in any AK. Push the button in the rear, remove the dust cover, remove the recoil spring, the bolt carrier and bolt. Note the serial numbers on the bolt carrier, on the bolt and on the back of the dust cover. For the Romanian gun owner, this is one of the most accessible rifles on the market, both in availability and in price. Also, most of the owners modify the furniture and either put classic PM63 dong and stock or put modern polymer tactical furniture. The precision is average. The maximum effective range is about 400 meters. In the end, the VUM name is clearly not correct for this gun. It should be something like Sadu semi-auto rifle.